Hello everybody, welcome back to lesson 41, second grade worksheet. We'll start off with the first problem, which is place values. Now, we'll start off with number 1, in which is 367. Now, we've gone over place value before, in which we see that the ones place starts in the first, and then the tens place, and then the hundreds place. So this, in reality, would equal to 300 plus 60 plus 7. Now it asks us, now we don't want to write 360 and 7 because it asks us, because it already tells us what the placements are. So in reality, how we would write this is for the first one, 300s, to be 300s, not 300 hundreds, because that wouldn't really make sense. Next would be the tens place, in which there are 6 tens. So we would simply just write 6 tens. And finally, for the ones place, we would write 7, because there are 7 ones. Now, each of these are emplacements, and it's very straightforward if you keep thinking about it. And let's say for numbers such as number 3, where it's just 9. Well, there are no hundreds, there are no tenths place, and there's just only the ones place. So, for numbers such as number 3, you will simply write 0 hundreds, 0 tenths, and 9 ones. Because there are 0 hundreds, 0 tenths, because we see in this number it is only 9, so we would leave it at that. Alright, moving on, number patterns. Now, we've gone over patterns before, but however, the difference to that and to this is that now the number patterns can appear in the end, not just in the front. Before, it was just in the front, making it easy for us to count from there on out and then keep going. However, now that it appears in the back, one thing I have to say is that it is simply the same exact thing, except you go the opposite way. So, number 1, 35, 40, 45, and we're trying to find out what came before it. Now, when you think about all of these, we see that some of them go down. So, for number 3, 390, we know that the pattern is going down 10 times. So, when you think about it in this way, you can grab this number line and just reverse it. So, you can write it as 45, 40, 35, blank, blank, and blank. And now we have the last three numbers now in the first 3. So this makes it easier to realize that the pattern becomes 45, 40, 35, making the pattern minus 5. Now, obviously, this isn't the pattern, as we know that we reversed it. So rather than minus 5, in this pattern it would be plus 5. So what plus 5 equals 35? Well, 30. What plus 30 equals what plus 5 equals 30? 25 and 20. And so you'd be counting backwards by 5 or adding 5, depending on how you want to take it. Adding 5 this way and then subtracting 5 that way. Alright, now time. The question asks, write the time that is shown on the clock. Now, we've gone over minute hands and hour hands, in which the hour hand is the smaller hand and the minute hand is the longer one. So let's just try number 1. So time, the clock is written in 5s. Always remember that the clock is written in 5s. So starting from 1, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 50, etc., all the way to 60 minutes. That is how many minutes are in an hour. And once the minute hand goes all the way around back to 12, this hand moves 1 hour, because the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, those aren't the minutes, those are the hours that they represent. So now we've recapped how to read time. Now it asks us to write the time that is shown on the clock. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at the hand. So something I would say is to always look at the minute hand first before you look at the hour hand. Now, you can go either way, but I prefer to go with the minute before the hour. So let's take a look at the minute hand. So the minute hand is directly on 9. We see that it's directly on 9. So because we know that each number goes by 5s, we can just count. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, and 45. So 9 would be 45. So we would just write 45 here, because this is the minutes and this is the hour. So 45. Now we'll look at the hour hand right here. The hour hand. Now the hour hand isn't really pointing at anything, you see. It's kind of pointing between 12 and 1. So how do you know whether it's 12 and 1? Well, one easy trick is to always think that it's always so one way to tell whether it's what hour it is that the hour hand, the time that it's telling you is usually after, never before. So in this case, it would be 12. So we write 12:45. So in this case, an hour hand, it moves along with the minute hand. So it doesn't, once the minute hand goes 60, the hour hand doesn't immediately jump to one number after another. That wouldn't make sense, correct? So let me clear up all this mess. So when the minute hand moves, the hour hand slowly moves from one number to the next as well. So let's say this minute hand keeps going, correct? To 10, 11, and almost to 12. This hour hand would move as well, very slightly, but it would still move nonetheless towards 1. It's not at 1 yet, but it is moving towards 1. So just think, so in summary, one way to tell what the hour hand is to always look back at the number that it's already passed. It will never be the number that it's going towards. It's always going to be the number that it passed, because that's how time works. And then that is essentially how you read time. And you implement that to all of the rest of the clock. So you look at the minute hand, look at the hour hand, and then, the minute hand is a lot easier than the hour hand, yes. However, once you start to get a hang of things, it becomes a lot easier. For example, let's take a look at number 3. Now, number 3, we see that the minute hand is not exactly on the number. However, these dots represent the minutes. So, if you were to count 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, you would get 13 minutes. On the hour hand, of course, very self-explanatory, would be 6, because it just passed 6. So you would get 6:13. Remember, these dots represent the minute as well, so be sure to remember that as well. Alright, finally into word problems. Number 1. There are 30 butterflies in a park. 11 more butterflies fly in. If 19 butterflies fly away from the park, how many are left? So, we start with 30, always write things out. So there are 30 butterflies in the park. Now, 11 more butterflies fly in. So we add 11 to 30, getting us a total number of 41. Because we just add the 10 and the 30. Now, it also says that 19 butterflies fly away, meaning they left. So, 41 minus 19. You write this in a vertical form, and you would do subtraction. 3, move the 10 over. That gets 11 minus 9, which equals 2, and then 3 minus 1, which also equals 2, getting us the answer of 22 butterflies left. It's also important to always read the answer, read what's asking you. So 11 butterflies fly in. It wouldn't be 30 minus 19 because we know that there's 11 more butterflies that fly in. Alright, that is all from me today. Thank you guys so much for listening and have a great rest of the day.